You waited. You swallowed every bit of pain they threw at you. You clenched your teeth, told yourself to be strong, convinced yourself that it would get better. And what did they do? Did they show you mercy? Did they look at you and think, maybe we should stop? No. They saw your patience as a weakness. They saw your kindness as something to exploit. Every time you forgave, they dug the knife a little deeper. Every time you stayed silent, they mistook it for fear. Every time you turned the other cheek, they slapped you even harder. But here's the thing about patience. It runs out. It dries up. And when it does, that's when the fun begins. You see, people don't understand regret until it comes crashing down on them like a hammer. They never think about the damage they caused until it's their turn to feel it. They never cry about what they did until the mirror forces them to see the monster they became. And you've been sitting in the shadows, watching, waiting, learning. You've been collecting every scar, every wound, every betrayal like it's ammunition. They thought you were soft. That's their mistake. They thought you'd stay down forever. That's their delusion. Because now it's their turn. Their turn to lose sleep. Their turn to wonder what's coming. Their turn to feel the weight of every single thing they did to you. The worst part for them, they don't even know when it's coming. You don't have to lift a finger. Regret has a way of creeping up on people, you know? It starts as a whisper, a quiet voice in their mind reminding them of what they did. Then it grows, it festers, it eats at them. And by the time they realize they can't escape it, it's already too late. That's the beauty of patience. When it runs out, it doesn't explode, it suffocates. You know what's funny? People always think they're untouchable when they've got the upper hand, when they're the ones calling the shots, when they're the ones laughing while you're the one bleeding. They act like nothing can ever come back to them. They feel powerful when they push you down. They feel invincible when they turn their backs on you. And the best part, they never even stop to think, what if the roles change? What if the tables turn? What if the person they crushed, the one they mocked, the one they betrayed, what if that person stands up one day, stronger than ever, with nothing left to lose? But they never think that far ahead. See, people like them, they live in the moment. They're so busy enjoying their victories that they forget something very, very important. Patience is not weakness. Silence is not surrender. And suffering in silence, that's just preparation for the reckoning that's coming. And you sat through it all. You let them have their fun, didn't you? You let them think they broke you. You let them laugh. Let them feel safe. Let them believe they got away with everything. You let them push you to the edge. And yet, you stood there, silent, waiting. You waited because deep down, you knew. You knew something they didn't. You knew that time is the cruelest revenge of all. Because time never forgets. Time never forgives. Time is always watching, always counting, always keeping track of every action, every word, every cut they carved into you. And now it's their turn to wait. Now they get to sit in the same silence you sat in. Now they get to wake up in the middle of the night with that ugly feeling in their gut, that little voice whispering, "You messed up." Now they get to live with the realization that the patience they mistook for weakness was actually the calm before the storm. And that storm? Oh, it's not coming with fire and rage. It's coming with silence. It's coming with regret. It's coming with the slow, suffocating weight of everything they did, pressing down on their chest until they can't breathe. Because that's how karma works. That's how consequences work. People think punishment comes with fists and fury, with screaming and bloodshed. No. The real punishment, it comes in whispers. It comes in quiet, lonely nights. It comes in the form of memories they can't erase, faces they can't forget, mistakes they can't fix. It comes when they look in the mirror and see a monster staring back at them. And trust me, that's far worse than anything you could ever do to them. But you already know that, don't you? That's why you waited. That's why you never begged, never chased, never wasted your breath trying to make them understand. You knew they wouldn't understand. Not then. But now, they're starting to feel it, aren't they? That unease, that restlessness, that heavy feeling in their bones like something's not right. They don't know why, but they can feel it. They can feel the past catching up to them. They can feel their sins creeping up, ready to choke them. And you don't even have to lift a finger. You don't have to waste your energy trying to teach them a lesson. Life will do that for you. The same way it did for you. The same way every scar on your soul came with a lesson. Every betrayal came with a truth. Every ounce of pain came with a transformation. See, that's the difference between you and them. They thought pain would break you. They thought suffering would turn you into nothing. But what they didn't realize? Pain doesn't destroy people like you. It builds them. It molds them. It sharpens them into something they never expected. And that's why, when they see you now, when they see the version of you that walked out of the fire, stronger, colder, untouchable, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to face you. They don't know how to handle the fact that the person they thought was weak is now the very person they fear. Oh, they won't say it out loud. No, their pride won't let them. But you can see it in the way they avoid your eyes, in the way their laughter doesn't sound as real as it used to, in the way their hands shake just a little when they remember how much they took from you and how you never even flinched. Because that's the worst thing for them, isn't it? Not that you're angry, not that you're seeking revenge. No, no. The worst thing is that you don't care anymore. That's what destroys them. That's what makes them lose sleep at night. Because for them, the game was fun as long as you were playing. But now, you've left the game entirely. Now they don't get a reaction from you. Now their words mean nothing. Their presence means nothing. And that drives them insane. Because they wanted to break you. They wanted to make you small, weak, desperate for their approval, for their love, for their validation. They wanted you to chase them, to beg for them, to keep them on a pedestal while they trampled all over you. But instead, you stood up. Instead, you wiped the blood off your face, laughed in their direction, and walked away. And that's the greatest revenge of all. Because you didn't just survive, you became untouchable. You became something beyond their reach. They can't hurt you anymore. They can't touch you anymore. And now all they have left is regret. And trust me, that regret, it'll eat them alive. It'll tear them apart from the inside out. Because the truth is, you never really had to do anything. All you had to do was wait. And now, it's their turn to suffer. You know what the cruelest part is? The part they never see coming? It's not the moment you walk away. It's not the moment they realize you don't need them. No, it's the silence that follows. That's what destroys them. That's what haunts them. Because as long as you were reacting, as long as you were angry, hurt, screaming, breaking, they still had a grip on you. They still had a role in your story. But the second you went silent, the second you let go, that's when the walls started closing in on them. That's when they started to feel the weight of what they did. Because here's the thing. People like them, they don't know how to handle silence. They thrive on attention, on control, on knowing they can get a reaction out of you whenever they want. But when you take that away, when you remove yourself from their game, oh, that's when they start to panic. That's when they start second-guessing every decision, every choice, every word they ever spoke to you. They start replaying the past in their heads over and over again, wondering where they went wrong, wondering when they lost their grip. And the more they think about it, the more they realize they were the ones who set this ending in motion. And that's what they can't live with. The knowledge that they did this to themselves, that they had someone who was willing to stand by them, someone who was willing to endure, to forgive, to be patient, to see the good in them despite all the darkness. And instead of valuing that, instead of cherishing it, they spat on it. They crushed it beneath their feet. They treated it like it was nothing. But now they'd give anything to go back. Now, they'd give anything to hear your voice, to have one more chance to undo the damage. But that's the thing about time. It doesn't move backward. It doesn't give second chances. And you learned that lesson the hard way. You spent so long believing in them, so long hoping they'd change, so long thinking if you just held on a little longer, if you just gave a little more, maybe they'd wake up. Maybe they'd see what they were doing. Maybe they'd stop taking you for granted. But they never did they? Number, because people like them. They don't change until it's too late. They don't appreciate what they had until it's already gone. And you're gone now. Not just physically. No, that would be too easy. You're gone in the way that matters most. You're gone from their thoughts, from their reach, from their ability to control you. You're gone in the way that makes them stay up at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering how they let it all slip through their fingers. Because that's what's happening now, isn't it? They're starting to feel it. They're starting to feel the absence, the silence, the regret. And there's nothing they can do to stop it. Because that's the thing about regret. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't knock politely on the door. It crashes in, uninvited, and makes itself at home. It sits in their chest like a weight they can't shake. It whispers in their ear when they least expect it. It follows them into every conversation, every relationship, every quiet moment. And no matter how much they try to run from it, no matter how much they try to drown it out with distractions, it's always there, always waiting, always reminding them. And you don't have to do a damn thing. You don't have to chase revenge. You don't have to seek justice. Because life has a way of balancing the scales. Life has a way of making people feel the exact pain they put into the world. And you just have to keep moving forward. You just have to keep walking, keep growing, keep becoming the person they never believed you could be. And that's the real revenge. Because while they're stuck in the past, drowning in the weight of their mistakes, you're free. Free from their control. Free from their manipulation. Free from the cycle of pain they tried to keep you in. And that's something they'll never be able to live with, because they thought they broke you. They thought they won. But the truth is, they only destroyed themselves. And now they have to live with that. You know what really haunts them? It's not the fact that you left. It's not even the realization that they lost you. No. It's something much worse. It's the slow, creeping understanding that you never needed them to begin with. That's what keeps them up at night. That's what turns their stomach inside out. Because see, when they were hurting you, when they were betraying you, when they were feeding off your patience like leeches, they convinced themselves that you couldn't live without them. They thought they were your air, your foundation, your reason to keep going. But now they see the truth. Now they see that while they were busy trying to break you, all they really did was set you free. Free from their games, free from their empty words, free from the chains they thought they wrapped around you so tightly. And that, oh, that burns them more than any revenge you could ever take. Because nothing stings more than realizing that someone you thought was beneath you was actually above you the whole time. That the person you underestimated, the person you mocked, the person you treated like an afterthought, was the only real thing you had. And now they're stuck in their own personal prison, one made of the very choices they thought would make them untouchable. And you walk away without a scratch. Because here's the thing, they lost you the moment they stopped valuing you. They lost you the moment they chose their ego over loyalty, their pride over kindness, their selfishness over the one person who would have stood by them through anything. And now they're choking on their own arrogance, drowning in the silence they once laughed at. Because silence is a funny thing. It can feel like peace, or it can feel like punishment. And for them, it's the latter. You see, people like them never think the past will come knocking. They never think their actions will have consequences. They think they can move on, pretend like nothing happened, rewrite the story in their heads to make themselves the victim. But the past, it doesn't work that way. The past doesn't care about their lies, their excuses, their delusions. It waits. It waits until they're alone, until the distractions are gone, until there's nothing left but them and their own thoughts. And then it plays every moment back for them. Every lie, every betrayal, every time they laughed while you suffered, every time they chose themselves over the person who would have bled for them. And no matter how much they try to push it away, no matter how much they try to run, it follows. That's the real punishment. Not karma, not justice. Just awareness. Awareness of what they did. Awareness of what they lost. Awareness of the fact that no matter how many times they tell themselves it wasn't that bad, no matter how many people they try to use as replacements, they will never find another you. Never. Because people like you. You don't come around twice. You don't get replaced. You don't get forgotten. You leave a mark, whether they want to admit it or not. And the worst part? They'll realize it when it's far too late. They'll realize it when they're standing in a room full of people and still feel alone. They'll realize it when they look into someone else's eyes and search for you. But you're not there. You're gone. Not just from their life, but from their future, from their options, from their second chances. And that's what regret really is. It's not just feeling sorry. It's not just wishing things went differently. No. Regret is waking up every single day knowing you can never go back. Regret is watching someone else give you everything you once begged them for. Regret is hearing your name and knowing that no matter how much time passes, they will never be able to reach you again. And you? You don't have to do a thing. You don't have to seek revenge. You don't have to prove anything. You just have to keep living, keep rising, keep becoming the person they never thought you could be. Because that's what kills them the most. The realization that the person they underestimated, the person they broke, the person they tossed aside, became untouchable. And now, all they have left is the past. But you know what the cruelest part is? It's not just the regret. It's not just the sleepless nights, the restless thoughts, the silent moments where their own mind turns against them. No. The cruelest part is that life keeps moving. Time keeps pushing forward. And while they're stuck in the past, drowning in memories they can't erase, you're untouchable. You're walking forward, leaving them behind like dust on an old road. And that drives them insane. Because they thought they had power over you. They thought they controlled the narrative. They thought you'd be haunted by them, by their absence, by the damage they left behind. But instead, they're the ones haunted. Every place they go, every person they meet, every conversation they have, there's a shadow hanging over them. A shadow that whispers, you lost something real, and you will never get it back. They'll try to ignore it at first. They'll try to act like they don't care, like they've moved on, like they don't think about you anymore. But deep down, they know the truth. Because nothing feels the same anymore. Nothing tastes as sweet. Nothing brings the same satisfaction. They'll find themselves laughing at a joke and suddenly remembering your laugh. They'll hear a song, see a place, smell a scent, and it'll hit them like a train. The realization. The weight of it. The fact that they threw away something they can never replace. And that's the moment where they finally understand what you already knew. See, life doesn't give out second chances like candy. When you lose something good, something pure, something real, you don't just get to snap your fingers and get it back. No. Life isn't that kind. Life makes you live with the loss. It makes you sit in it, stew in it, choke on it. And every time they try to move forward, every time they try to act like it doesn't matter, life finds a way to remind them. They'll look at the people around them and realize none of them truly care. They'll try to fill the void with distractions, with noise, with meaningless things, but none of it will work, because that's the thing about losing someone like you. Once it happens, there's no undoing it. No replacement will ever be enough. No excuse will ever silence the voice in their head. No distraction will ever erase the truth. And the truth is simple. They messed up. They had something rare, something real, something most people spend their entire lives searching for. And instead of protecting it, instead of cherishing it, they destroyed it with their own hands. And the worst part? They can't even blame anyone but themselves. Oh, they'll try. They'll tell themselves you were the problem, that you were too much, that they had no choice. But the truth doesn't care about their excuses. The truth is written in the empty spaces you left behind. The truth is in their reflection, in the sleepless nights, in the sinking feeling they can't escape. And eventually they won't be able to lie to themselves anymore. They'll wake up one day and realize they lost everything. Not just you, but the version of themselves that existed when they had you. Because that's the thing. When you lose someone like you don't just lose a person. You lose a future. You lose a version of yourself that only existed because of that connection. And now they're just a hollow shell of what they used to be. And you keep moving forward. You keep growing. You keep becoming everything they never believed you could be. And that's the final nail in the coffin. The proof that they never had power over you. The proof that they were just another chapter in your story. While you were the whole book in theirs. And now they have to live with that every single day. But here's where it gets even worse for them. It's not just the regret, not just the realization, not just the suffocating weight of everything they threw away. No. It's the way life starts showing them, piece by piece, exactly what they lost. And trust me, life has a twisted sense of humor when it comes to payback. See, people like them. People who think they can walk through life burning bridges and laughing at the flames. They always assume they'll never need to cross those bridges again. They think they can keep taking, keep lying, keep betraying, and somehow they'll always land on their feet. But reality doesn't work that way. Reality makes sure they feel every bit of what they put into the world. It makes sure they learn one way or another, that you don't get to break someone good and walk away unscathed. And the way it teaches them? Oh, that's the real punishment. Because it starts slow. It starts with little things they barely notice at first. Small losses, small inconveniences, a deal that doesn't go through, a friend that stops calling, a moment where they feel off, but they can't quite place why. But then it grows. Soon they start noticing patterns. The wrong people start showing up in their life. People just like them. Selfish, disloyal, temporary. And at first, they don't see it. At first, they think they're still in control. But one by one, those people do to them exactly what they did to you. They get used. They get lied to. They get abandoned. And for the first time, they get to feel exactly what you felt. And that's when the panic sets in. That's when they start trying to reach for the past, trying to fix what they broke, trying to undo what they swore they'd never regret. But here's the cruelest joke of all. You're not there anymore. You're not waiting for them. You're not hoping they come back. You're not even looking in their direction. And that's what shatters them. Because for them, the game was fun when you were still playing. But now they're playing against life itself. And life doesn't lose. They'll sit there scrolling through their phone, thinking about calling, thinking about sending a message, thinking about saying all the words they should have said when it still mattered. But their fingers won't move. Because deep down, they know. They know the door is closed. They know they took too long. They know that no apology, no explanation, no amount of "I was wrong" can undo the damage they caused. And that's when the real regret kicks in. Because this isn't the kind of regret that fades with time. This is the kind that settles in their bones, the kind that becomes a permanent part of them, the kind that whispers over and over again. You had something rare, and you destroyed it. And the worst part, the very worst part, they'll never find another you. Oh, they'll try. Trust me, they'll try. They'll search for you in other people. They'll chase the same feelings, the same moments, the same type of connection. But every time, it'll feel hollow. Every time, it'll fall apart. Because what they had with you, that wasn't something that just happens twice. That wasn't something they can replace like an old pair of shoes. That was real. That was once in a lifetime. And now, they have to live with the fact that they ruined it with their own hands. And you keep moving forward. You keep thriving. You keep proving every single day that they never had control over you, that their actions didn't define you, that their betrayal didn't break you. It built you. And the more you rise, the more you grow. The more they see you shining without them. The deeper their regret buries itself inside of them. Because now, they don't just regret losing you. They regret ever thinking they could take you for granted in the first place. And that's a pain they'll carry for the rest of their lives. And the final blow? It's not something loud, not something dramatic. No revenge, no confrontation, no grand moment of justice. No. The final blow is the quiet, inescapable reality that you don't care anymore. That's what destroys them. That's what keeps them awake at night. Not your anger, not your pain, not your retaliation, but your complete and total indifference. Because as long as you hated them, as long as you wanted revenge, as long as they still occupied space in your mind, they could tell themselves they mattered. But now they're nothing, a shadow in your past, a lesson, not a loss. And people like them, they can't handle being forgotten. They can't handle being reduced to just another name, another face, another mistake. They spent so long convincing themselves they were irreplaceable, so long feeding off the idea that you needed them, that the thought of you moving on, truly moving on, shatters them more than anything else ever could. Because now they see the truth. They were never as important as they thought they were. And you were always stronger than they believed. They'll watch from a distance, scrolling through old memories, rereading old conversations, desperately trying to find a way back into your life. But the door is locked. The road is closed. And that's their punishment, to know that no matter what they do, no matter how much they regret, no matter how much they wish they could undo it all, they can't. They had their chance, and they wasted it. And you don't even look back, because there's nothing left for you in the past. No answers, no closure, no unfinished business, just lessons. Just proof that you were always meant for more, that you were always bigger than the pain they caused, that their absence was never a loss, it was a blessing in disguise. So let them regret, let them feel the weight of every choice they made. Let them sit in the silence they once mocked, because now they finally understand what you knew all along. They weren't the ones who left you behind. You were the one who outgrew them. And that's a truth they'll never escape.